couple different tips, sanding drum tips. You give them something like this that has a little rubber core on the inside, which you can interchange your heads with. And then you have two in there. One that's going to be this exact same size, one that's going to be this size. But instead of having a rubber core on the inside, it's going to be a solid piece. Those are excellent to use as your polishing tips. So what I do is I take mine, I get a big rock, hold it against the rock away from me, turn it on full blast, and just hold it like that on the rock until it literally rips off that sanding paper, just tears it off. What you're left with is pretty much like a stone that's just smooth, uberly smooth, you know, and you can use that to then go ahead and behind all of your regular sanding and smooth down a lot of the burrs and stuff on it. It's a really, really great little tip and trick to use, you know, as your polishing tip. So now, I want to get a little bit fancy with this, not too much, just a little bit, and I'm going to draw dragon scales on this and on the little tips here. I'm not going to do anything on the nail because of the nails. But after I do that drawing, I'm going to go back behind that with my razor blade. And I'm going to show you a trick for engraving. It's a really, really easy trick, but it's a powerful one. Drawing dragon scales, vary them. You know, they're all not perfectly even. They're scales. You know, if you're not sure what scales really look like, study a crocodile. You know, very similar scale patterns. You know, and I'm doing a method that's something similar to what's called cross hatching, where you just go ahead and do a bunch of X's, but you do them in different widths, different thicknesses. Make some wide, now make some skinny. It just adds to it, the whole organic thing. I'm not really worried about doing anything on the inside here because remember, I'm going to have this whole center gem piece in there.
Kelly Jean's new cat popped on. She's from UK and she said she's good. She was talking to Katie for a second. Had to work last night. Went off for 4 days now. She said, "Where's everyone from?" She said she's UK. Before anyone gets confused, she's not Kelly Jean.
Well, Kelly, I'm from America, but I was in England for a time. I loved being out there. Oh, it was so much fun. But yeah, right now I am residing in good old USA, in Oregon. This is one of the things that some people don't really think about when they're doing dragon scales. They focus so hard on trying to get each and every scale to look exactly alike. They forget that it is a creature of nature, and you know, no two scales are alike. They may look similar, but they're not alike. So you want to make sure that when you're doing your work, if you are messing with dragon scales, Like, you can see I made some thicker, some thinner, give it that little randomness. So very important to have that.
So she started building Iron Man, but wants to build something more unique. Seems that you do that.
Oh, I definitely do. I build armors with no problem, but I also build a lot of organic work, which a lot of people, well, some people would think you could not do with EVA foam, but you actually can. Like this. This was the helmet I built for my Irons Wool and Gold cosplay. And the eyes light up. The jaw actually moves a little bit when I talk. You know, this is all EVA foam.
Crazy Joe popped on and said, "Hey man, which are your favorite rappers?"
Honestly, Crazy Joe, a lot of mine are old school. Nas, Common, guys who rap more about bitches and hoes, They actually talked about relevant issues in the world. You know, Public Enemy. Those are some of my faves. But I'm old school like that. So you're building Iron Man. Are you building like which suit are you building? Because I get asked that a lot. I don't make them only because I've got friends that actually have businesses pretty much solely making that. So I don't want to step on their toes. But also it's something that's done a lot. Like if I were to build an Iron Man suit for myself, it would have to be something that's really seen, like the Hulk Buster, like that. Maybe his Mandarin suit, something like that. So that way it stands out. The same thing for Halo suits. I don't do Halo suits. I got just too many good friends in the business that do those. So I always prefer people to them, for that. I try to always do things that is out of the ordinary, something that's not normally seen, has a bigger impact. So I've drawn my scales. So right now, all I'm doing very, very simply is using my X-Acto knife, which I gotta change the blade on. I'm just simply kind of like drawing over those lines with the blade, going a little deep in there, and I'll show you what happens next as a result.
Billy Jean's Cat says, MK7, I'm new to EVA foam. So I'm also going to have it with stereo in and a lot of dancing LEDs just so it's
Oh, nice. LEDs always kicks up a cosplayer a nice little notch. Always does. And N7, cool. It's a good suit. Definitely a good suit. Best thing I can tell you to do is take your time when you're building it. Give yourself enough time to put as many details and little doodads into the suit, because those little details really help to separate your build from other methods. And I'm being very careful with this knife, so I'm gonna cut the shit out of myself. This is where also, if you have a pen knife that is sharp, you can do stuff like this. And not worry too much about, chopping off a finger or cutting deep into one. But once again, either way, you make sure that that tip is sharp. It cannot be dull. If it is dull, it will chew through your foam and you will have hell cleaning all that stuff up. So, sharp blade at all times. That one's feeling a little bit dull on me, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this one back out. And I'm making a conscious effort not to go too deep into this foam. The foam itself is pretty thick. This is another reason why I love to work with thicker foams. It gives you a little bit of leeway into carving and engraving into it. So like normally for me, my go-to foam is almost always a 1/2 inch thickness. That's like my base, and then from there I may go up or down depending on the project, depending on how high a rise has to be or how deep I have to engrave it. It'll fluctuate from that point. One other thing I would definitely say, tool-wise, you need to get yourself some type of mask. Whether it be like what I have, an actual respirator mask, or get yourself one that's rated for like sanding, because you don't want to be tasting foam all day long, so get yourself some kind of mask. I mean, hell, if money is tight, you can do that. Or get a handkerchief, tie it on your head, something to help keep the foam particles from going into your lungs. So I definitely plan on streaming this again this Tuesday, and maybe if not next Thursday as well, definitely next Sunday I'll be streaming this again. I'm gonna try to keep streaming this until it's all done. And I also have a second personal project I'm going to work on. I actually want to get started on that one pretty soon too. The character's name is Calabrito. And for any of you guys out there that are comic fans, if y'all remember a comic called Battle Chasers,